Confucius and the robber Chi. The robber Chi and his 1,000 followers formed a band. They swept through the country, breaking doors, robbing houses and villages. They dug through the walls and broke into palaces. They drove away people's cattle and horses. They carried off people's wives and daughters. In his greed, she did not spare the children or the old. The whole country suffered under him. Confucius wanted to correct him, so he said to his disciples, "It is my duty as a sage to call this robber to order. I have to talk to him. I shall teach him goodness." The disciple replied, "Master, he will not listen to you. All your wise words will have no effect on him. He is clever enough to justify every crime. I advise you not to go to him." But Confucius did not listen to this warning, and he went to meet the robber Chi. Chi and his men were resting at the time at the Taishan mountain, enjoying a supper of grilled human liver. Confucius went towards the camp. A guard stopped him. "What do you want here?" Confucius said, "Inform the general that I, Confucius, having heard of him as a champion of morality, have come to pay him respects." The guard brought the message to Chi. When Chi heard it, he fell into a mighty rage. His eyes blazed like fire, his hair stood on end. "So this proud Confucius had come. Bring him in." The guard called Confucius in. Confucius walked quickly and stood in front of the robber Chi, carefully avoiding not to step on his mat. Twice he bowed. The robber was setting his legs wide apart. He was fingering the blade of his long sword. His eyes glared. With the voice of a tiger he roared out, "Come here, Confucius. If what you say is acceptable to me, you live. If not, you die, and we shall eat your liver for breakfast." Confucius said, trembling, "The people call you the robber Chi. I confess I am ashamed on your behalf. But if you will listen to me, I will go to the court of the king and speak in your favor. If you lay down your arms, disband your followers, I shall see to it that they lack nothing. You shall be raised to the rank of a general. You will thus be a hero, and at the same time peace will come to the country." "Listen," cried the robber Chi in a great rage. "You try to buy me with promises of gold. You are treating me as though if I were a poor common peasant. Here you come teaching goodness to the people. You get your food without plowing, and your clothes without weaving. You arbitrarily decide what is right and what is wrong. You seek favors from the kings, the wealthy and the noble, riches and honors. These are your real ambitions. Instead of talking so much about the robber Chi, people should talk about you and the great robber Confucius. You call yourself a sage? There is no resting place for you in the whole kingdom. You were driven out of Lu. You had to run away from Wai. You have no done no good either for yourself or for others. How can your doctrines be worth anything? You may ask, does the robber need wisdom and morality? Sure he does, just as much as other people do. To be the first to enter an unknown house requires courage. To guess where its treasures are hidden needs intuition. To be the last to leave calls for a sense of duty. Never to attempt the impossible requires wisdom. To divide the booty fairly needs justice. If one does not have these virtues, one never can become a great robber like me. There is no need for you to say a word more. If you tell me about ghosts and dragons, I would listen to you, because about them I know nothing at all. But about human affairs, I have heard it all before. Now I shall tell you something about man and his natural desires. Man has eyes that long to see beautiful things. He has ears that long to hear sweet music, a mouth that longs for good food, ambitions and energies that crave for satisfaction. A man may live 60 years. In all this time there will be no more than 5 days in each month when he has something to laugh about. A man has only a limited time span to live. A flash, and it's all over. Oh, he better should use these brief moments to enjoy his senses to the full. All that you teach of goodness and duty is just rubbish. It can never help a man to enjoy life. Say not a word more. Get out of here as fast as you can, and never dare to come back. Otherwise I will cut out your liver. Confucius bowed and ran away. His hands were trembling. There was a cloud before his eyes, and his face was ashen grey. When he reached the city and came to the place where his disciples were, he leaned against the wall, grasping for breath. A disciple asked him, "Have you seen the robber Chi?" Confucius looked at the sky and sighed. "Yes." "And Chi did not listen to your words." "That is true. I nearly landed in the tiger's claws." "When Lao Tzu heard about it," he said, "small robbers are put in prison, but a great robber becomes a king. And at the gate of his palace those righteous scholars like Confucius will be found. The General Tian Kang killed his king and took his throne. And yet Confucius accepted a silk robe as a present from him. In their discussions the scholars condemn the killer. However, they bow before him. Is that not hypocrisy? The small man runs after wealth. The scholar runs after reputation. Both want different rewards, but in their desire they are the same.